Hi guys. So I understand that a lot of you have problems drawing noses, and I completely understand. So I thought, why not make this video? Um, I'm starting off with a baby nose. You can see the reference photo up there in the right corner. And I will proceed to do a woman's nose, a man's nose. There will be a side profile, there will be a 3/4 profile of a nose, and lastly, there will be a nose viewed from below. So we're sort of looking up inside the nostrils, so to speak. Okay. Listen, and the nose is a very important, maybe not the most important part of a portrait, but it's very important because a nose is so personal and it carries a lot of a person's, I want to say, character or personality, and it's impossible to categorize nose. Well, you can, obviously you can, based on, the bridge and the tip and the nostrils and the size and all of that. But really, what I think and what I've come to realize is that it's pointless to categorize noses because every nose is different and every nose has this tiny little thing that makes it so personal for the person who's the owner of the nose, so to speak. Yeah, as you can see, I am slowly building up this nose. I started off with 3 circles, and this is actually a really good way of making some really simple shapes for the nose before you start. You can use this technique for all kinds of noses if you want. It's just a little tip, and it's really smart, and it's really what's the word? It really comes in handy when you draw a baby's nose, because a baby's nose is often, the tip is shortened and it's a little bit wider. It has this sort of potato-like, little button-like shape. And yeah, and then obviously I go and I'm using the blending tool, and I'm also using a black colored pencil, a white colored pencil, and some Posca for very bright highlights. Yeah, and I'm also drawing in this new sketchbook, which is tinted paper. It's a grayish paper. If you want to know what the exact sketchbook is it's made from Hahnemüller. I think it's German, I'm not sure, but I think they call it the Gray Book. Maybe that speaks to you. It's rather thin paper, so it's not really suitable for watercolor and stuff like that, but it's really good for charcoal, pencil, ink, I would say, thin layers of ink. So yeah, and I'm using the blending tool because I want to achieve this very skin-like feel. And this is me starting on the woman's nose, and in a second, there it is, it pops up there. The reason why I chose this reference photo is because it has a lot of shadows, a lot of shading, a lot of contrast between light and shadow. And if you want to get better at drawing noses, it might be a really good place to start with something that has a lot of contrast, because it helps you to figure out where is the nostrils, where's the bridge, because it helps you, and also that's why I'm also using this tinted paper, because it also helps you define darker shades and lighter highlights, because the tinted paper sort of represents the middle tone or the mid-tones, so you can concentrate on the contrasts, so to speak. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to achieve here. As you can see, I started off differently with this nose. The baby nose, I started off with circles because it's very harmonious. It's a very harmonious nose. This is a little bit different. Also, the angle is not 100% from front. Well, maybe it is, but the light sort of manipulates it a little bit. And also, a lot of grown-ups, you'll see they don't have, their noses are often a little bit crooked, or there can be a difference in the nostril size from side to side. The bridge can be crooked. There can be many things that makes it look not super harmonious and super straight. And all of these things is what makes a nose personal to its owner. Which is why, one of the reasons why noses are so important in a portrait and should not be rushed. I know we always tend to focus on the eyes and sometimes the mouth and the teeth and all of that, the smile and all of that, but really the nose is a very important thing. Also because it's the center of the face, so it naturally leads your eyes around in the face. And if the nose is off, let me tell you, likeness will be off. So the nose is sort of a focal point when you look at someone, if that makes sense, because it's the center of the face and it directs your eyes to the eyes and around the cheeks and mouth and lips and all of that. So as you can see, I don't do all the shading first. I will go in and add some highlights before adding more shades, and this is just because that's how I like to do it. You can do it any way you want, but this is helpful for me because that's just my temper. That's what I like to do. So anyway, I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to watch this, and I'll come back and talk a little bit more on the next nose. Okay, so you watched me draw a baby's nose, a woman's nose, and now we're drawing the man's nose. And this is also a fine example where you can actually also use the technique with the 3 circles. And you can also, in this case, you can actually see how the bridge of his nose sort of makes 2 separate triangles meeting in the middle, which is the top of the bridge where the light hits. And I also chose this nose because he has a very, very beautiful highlight that's really easy to make because of how the light hits on the bridge of the nose and also on the nostrils. And it's very symmetrical also. It's pretty symmetrical for a nose. Anyway, so I thought it would be maybe easier for some of you who find it difficult to draw noses. You can draw along. That's what I forgot to say in the beginning, sorry, of this video. You can always draw along with me. I've only sped this video up 200%, so it's only like double the speed. So it's pretty good to draw along too. And as you can see, I am using the black color pencil to add more shade, because even though the paper is tinted, it still needs more shading. And also I was thinking, what was I thinking? In regards to this nose, there was something that came to my mind. What was that? Oh yeah. One thing is drawing noses from like the full frontal, as I'm doing here. Another thing is drawing them in the 3/4 profile or profile. It can be a totally different experience. And it also, again, depends on how the relationship between light and shadow is on the photo or the person, if you're drawing someone live, how it hits. So my advice to you, if you find it really difficult to draw noses, is to get your hands on some photos that have a lot of contrast, because it really helps you to figure out, you can almost, like here, you can almost draw where the highlight is and use that as a figure, or like, no, not a figure, like a shape, like a shape, and draw that in, and that really helps you to get the balance between light and shadow. I hope that makes sense. So again, I'm using the white color pencil to help me define the highlights. Really hoping this is helpful. This is a little fun info that when I sat and I drew this, I wanted to draw the whole face. I wanted to, move on, proceed, draw the nose, draw the eyes, draw the mouth, cheeks, cheekbones, ears, all of it. So just staying on the nose was a little bit challenging for me, as you will be able to see in the next examples. But I'll leave you with some nice music and I'll get back to you on the next nose. And here we have it, the 3/4 profile nose, which I know is a challenge for a lot of you guys. It used to be really challenging for me too. And who better to use than Adam Driver, because his nose is exceptional. It's very, very it has so much character. It's very, very personal, and it's very, very interesting. It has all these funny curves and shadows, and that's why I chose to use it. I would say if you wanna become better at drawing noses in 3/4, don't draw beautiful tiny little women or baby noses. Start off with, someone rocket, someone very someone who has very defined features on their face, such as Adam Driver, or old men. Let me tell you, an old guy with a big nose, big nostrils, like a big bridge of the nose. That would be a really good place to start, and figure out all that light and shadow ratio, and just work around it and play with it and have fun with it. And don't be so, don't be so adamant on likeness. It's really about having fun. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. So just go and have fun with it, and whatever comes out is good. And as you can see, I always start with the graphite pencil. I could have also just went straight on with black color pencil, or I could have chosen ink. But graphite is good because it's soft. In this case, it's soft. This is a 3B lead. But it's easier to erase, and it's easier to just sketch because you can make these really soft lines. Which is really helpful when you need to distinguish size and proportions and distances. Blending tool is optional. You don't have to have a blending tool. You can also use a finger. Although I don't recommend it because fingers are messy, even though you wash your hands crazy, wash them. There's always going to be a tiny layer of oil on your skin, and it can mess up your drawing a lot more. I will talk about this later on in a video. I think I already have talked about it, but just please don't use your fingers. You can use a piece of tissue or toilet paper or just something like that, but don't use your finger, your naked finger, so to speak. And again, I'm just gonna leave you watching the details. By the way, if you have questions, please feel free to comment in the comment section. That would be really, really helpful for me. Also, if you have suggestions on who or what I should draw. Oh, and now obviously I could not make a nose tutorial or a nose video without one, drawing a nose in profile, and two, drawing the nose of Evan Peters. Haha, because he has such, I don't know, I really like his nose. It's pretty close to perfect, in my opinion. But, that's just me. I want to say all the noses that I'm drawing in this tutorial, I really think are beautiful. And I really think that, if you draw someone, it's always the nose that makes you realize there is actually something really interesting or beautiful or poetic or magical about this person. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I don't know. But drawing profiles is another really big challenge for a lot of people. And I want to say, instead of thinking about the nose as a nose, you might find it helpful to consider thinking about it as a triangle. And actually not really thinking about the fact that you're drawing a profile, but really like what I'm doing with my pencil is I feel like I'm crawling or like mapping. I often use the term that I'm mapping out the face because it feels like I'm drawing as I go along. So I keep looking at the reference photo and I keep adjusting my line and looking for shapes. So for instance, here in the profile, the shape of the nostril is sort of like a half moon, and the tip of the nose is also like a half moon, and things like that. So I'm constantly doing these small movements with the pencil to define the shape, to get closer and closer to the right shape, if that makes sense. I hope so. Anyway, profile. And again, I'm taking baby steps and I'm moving around on the drawing very slowly and building and building and building on the shading. Not just putting on a lot. I'm gradually building a layer of shading. And yeah. And then I'm noticing, okay, I made it a little too big there, so I'm just removing that, and I'm working on, see, I could not help myself. I had to draw a little more than the nose, because the nose isn't just the nose, it's also the surrounding area. So you can't really separate it. And obviously yeah, I had to do the little freckle there. So I'm gonna work on the highlights while you listen to some nice music. And last but not least, I wanted to draw a nose as seen from below. It is not often that we draw someone from this angle, but I don't know, after today you might find it could be interesting to challenge yourself with some new, perspectives. And also this is an excellent way of showing you that you shouldn't really think about drawing a nose, you should think about drawing shapes. So think about, how the nostrils are situated in relation to each other, the shape of them, the distance between them. Think of it as a creature you're drawing and not a nose, or I don't know, something else so that you sort of move your consciousness away from the fact that you're drawing something that is so hard to draw. Just draw what you see and don't think about what it is that you see. I'm so sorry that the light reflects, the graphite reflects the light, which makes it a little bit hard to see what I'm doing here. But so every time I move my hand, I hope that's okay. And in this case, again, I needed to do a little bit more to sort of give you a better perspective of what I'm drawing. So I drew a quick sketch of the lips so that it's easier to see what it is that I'm drawing. And also for myself to see that I'm on the right path, so to speak. I really hope that this tutorial is helpful. I'm gonna be doing a tutorial on my drawing technique, which, well, someone asked me to do that, and I don't really know what my drawing technique is because I just draw. But I guess I do a lot of cross-hatching and not as much blending as I used to, because I like the more sort of rough expression of the pencil. So I guess I will be doing a video on how to do that. This is also, by the way, a good example of how graphite reflects paper. Sorry, that made no sense. Graphite reflects light, but black colored pencil doesn't. It's much more matte and much more saturated in its darkness. So it's really helpful when you want to create these really, really dark parts, such as nostrils, which are like pitch black. In this case, it also helps you differentiate the shading and get much more variations, much more definition. Sorry, I don't have any English words today. Everything is just bleh. I hope you will be able to understand what I'm saying anyway. So yes, I spent some time drawing the lips because I thought it would be helpful to not only you but also for myself, so that it's easier to determine size and whatnot. And it's not the perfect lip. It's not totally as it is on the reference photo, but it should still look a bit like a lip. So sorry my voice is totally off. I'm having a really, really tenacious cough that just won't go away. So my voice is a little bit damaged, and I don't speak that loud as I usually do, so I hope you're okay with that. But yeah, I'm just gonna let you enjoy the last moments here, and I want to thank you so much for watching, and thank you for all your feedback. You guys are amazing. I really want to... My wish is that this channel will be a tool for you guys to find inspiration and hopefully get some more, I want to say, courage when drawing, which is very important if you want to learn how to draw, or if you just want to like, if you want to keep up a drawing, a habit of drawing, to get better. Sorry, I'm not feeling not feeling very well. It's the rest of the COVID, I'm sorry, but hopefully I will feel well very soon, and yeah, music for you guys. Oh yeah, and obviously I wanted to emphasize the highlights a little bit, so I'm using the white Posca. It could be anything. It could also be like white gouache. Maybe if you have a little bit of white acrylic paint, I guess you could use that too. Or yeah, anything like that. There are these white gel pens, I believe they're called. You can use those too. Or if you have something like white charcoal, could also give you some whiteness. Maybe not as much as the white Posca, but it might help. But I just think that the white really brings out something. And yes, I'm also exaggerating the contrast, but that's just to add more life, I think. And yeah, I can't help myself. I keep checking and perfecting. And here I can see that the mouth is, the distance is a little bit off, so I'm correcting that, even though this is a video on noses. Cannot help myself. I just have to go in and just adjust a little bit more. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for subscribing and for commenting. It means the world to me. Thank you so much.